You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
Based on true events, Camino tells the story of a 14-year-old girl, played by first-time actress Nerea Camacho, who is brought up in a strict Catholic household, who are members of Opus Dei, a conservative organisation within the Catholic Church. When Camino starts to have ever-increasing back pains, her family's faith is put to the test, as is her own. At the same time, we watch as she falls in love with Jesus, a boy in her class with whom she has a chance to connect in the upcoming school play. We watch as she battles to resolve her health issues and the issues that come with being in love, while occasionally retreating into her imagination and dreams. Alright, basically the first thing I'll say about this film is that I love it. I mean, obviously I've picked, these films because I enjoy them a lot, but this film was just, when I saw it, I had never really seen anything that was this powerful, and it, shot to my, favourite film of all time when I walked out of the cinema. Again, it's not an easy watch, as none of the films that I've picked for today's session are, but I think it's incredibly rewarding. It's the few times that I have seen it, I actually haven't. I've cried a lot, because seeing a girl go through what this girl is going through in this film is, I think, emotionally distressing to anyone. And at the same time, there are incredibly beautiful moments that make you laugh, and at one point in the film I found myself both laughing and crying at the same time, and I'm wondering how the hell that was happening. And it's just a remarkable piece. The fact that the lead girl in this was her first role is amazing. We had discussed about child to adult actors, and I would absolutely rate her performance on par with the other much more well-known actors that we've discussed. I guess I'll just leave it at that. I mean, having said that, you do need to be not in a fragile state to watch this film, because every time I've seen it I've had a headache, so I guess if you enjoy crying and having headaches, then this is awesome.
Yeah, you should do that.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, very intense film. I mean, watching a child go through that journey, and also it gave me a headache, the film. We're not doing too well, are we? Like, we should definitely watch it. It gave me a headache because I was dunked in Catholicism as a child, not in any evil, mean way. I just grew up as a Catholic, and so I went to Catholic primary school, high school, reconciliation, everything, confession, and all that sort of stuff. I'm not there anymore. But this film is very, has highly religious kind of, with the Opus Dei, and the whole family is very religious, and they talk, and after a while that kind of, I found that so on top of what this child was going through, and as the audience going through that journey with her emotionally, what she was, all the religious stuff that was in there as well, just made it more distressing for me. In a way, it was like this method of coping with this child's illness and her journey. I mean, it's about, the film is like this sort of look at the canonization of a very, it's based on a true story of the canonization of this young girl. And it's just so heavy, it's so heavy. And I was distraught, there are times I was absolutely distressed watching it. But it was beautiful at the same time.
I mean, having said that though, her kind of innocence and her crush on that boy Jesus as well has a kind of lighter side to it, and
absolutely,
and it's incredibly beautiful.
Beautiful, and I crave that, and I wanted her to yell out, I wanted her to yell out in pain, and to I don't know, you know, when I watched the film, there were things I really wanted from it, and you know, that to me smacks of me being really invested in it, and sort of going along. I mean, there was a couple of sections in it where I literally went, oh, like, because you just getting like bang, you know, bang, 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 all this like emotional turmoil in the film, and then bang, this other really big thing happened, which I'm not going to tell you about. And I broke. Like, I actually had to stop the film. And had to like have a moment, walk away and come back. Because it was just, but it was, you have to watch it, it's amazing.
Yeah, if you can find a copy, it's very hard to
absolutely.
very hard to find, but totally worth seeking out. I think you saw it at the Spanish
Film
Festival a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I did. But having just purchased a copy, I was only able to find a copy. Only Australia seems to make it, and Spain.
Right.
As America.
But I mean, that's strange because it was the Spanish film of the year. It won 8 of the Goya awards.
Yeah, which is their equivalent of the Oscars.
Yeah. I loved the parallel story with Cinderella. And how they cut actually a bit of the Disney's animated Cinderella in there, and especially when they were cross-cutting at the end, the climax of the film.
Yeah,
that nearly broke me. That was very, very, very well done.
Yeah, that's what I was crying and laughing at. I was just
I have to say, it was shot on a digital camera. I think it was the F23 from Sony, but it never betrays. Only once I thought, oh, that's a digital camera, and it was like well into the film, and I thought, oh, I'm going to look that up and make sure that is a digital camera, because there was only one little tiny segment where it betrayed its origins in terms of being a digital camera. I thought it was completely on film, and it looked great. It looks great all the way through, and the tiny little splash of effects that you get here and there, they're very well done, subtle and really nice.
Yeah, and perfectly served the film.
Absolutely.
As well.
Yeah, the tone of it. I mean, you really cared about the characters, so you cared about.
I cared about the father.
Oh, you know, and we
can't talk about his story too much. But
I did too. That broke me.
Oh dear, yeah.
Broke me good.
Yeah.
I think all of the actors have just done an incredible job with this film.
Yeah. Amazing. It wouldn't be easy to actually be an actor in that film, I don't think.
No, and I just am blown away that this is her first role, and also the fact that she was, you know, I mean, there's a moment where she's completely undressed, and just the fact that she's willing to put herself out there at what is, you know, a very vulnerable time, I would imagine, for a girl and body image. It's just, it's extraordinary. Yeah,
she's a very beautiful looking kid as well. So she hopefully she goes up to do a lot more work.
Things, absolutely.
I wonder if also in terms of the religious stuff, I was wondering if Richard Dawkins had actually seen this film, because it very much deals with. I mean, I've read a few, you know, posts on IMDb about it being called an atheist film and all that sort of thing, and it's not really.
It's not, but I mean, you can't. Yeah, I mean,
you can't avoid the religious aspect.
You can't, and like, you know what? I mean, there are films you can't criticise. I don't think this film for that, or like, you know, I mean, well, you can, but you know, I mean, that exists. That level of, you know, faith exists, and so you have to kind of go with the punches. You know.
Yeah. Well, I think.
If you're going to be out there, you're going to be that fanatical, like fundamentalist Christians, and be, you know, people are going to make docos like Jesus Camp, and they're going to make films like this, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that I don't think the director is being cruel to overstay. I don't think he's saying that. I think it is quite clear that he does disapprove of how dogmatic they are, but he is not. Being overly harsh, or, you know, being nasty just for the sake of being nasty. He's just saying this is not a loving kind of way to treat people. No.
And, you know, with the injustice of how the sister is treated as well, you know, within that. You know,
her story was a good one too.
And it just, oh, see it. It's
good.
Definitely see it. Camino.
Very good debate about it.
Alright, nails once again.
Okay, 8 from me.
I'll give it an 8 too.
No, it gets a 9 from me once again.
Well, all of Fab's films. That was me hitting it out of the ballpark.